In 434, the emissaries and agents of Constantinople activated their attempts to corrupt the leaders of the Danubian, Caucasian and Uralian peoples and tribes to incite them to insurrection against the Huns. Khan Oros asked to cease all hostile actions and to begin negotiations. Otherwise he threatened war. The Western Roman Empire, ruled by Aetius, could not be hostile to the Huns, and the Emperor Theodosius of the Eastern Roman Empire was obliged to accept the negotiations. In September Oros died and Attila was proclaimed main Khan. His brother Bleda became Khan as Attila was before. For the negotiations with Attila, the government of Constantinople sent Plinther and Epigene, his most eloquent and experienced diplomats. Attila agreed to meet the Roman delegation beside the border town of Margum on the Danube. Attila explains to Orestes that from the beginning of his independent reign he wishes to show to all, to his own people and to others, that he intends to re-establish in Hunland the strict laws of Modin Khan, responding to his desire for unity and peace. As you now know, these laws are directed against the anarchy of the steppes, against the dangerous fragmentation of the warrior tribes, against the multiplicity of centers of power leading to polytheism, contradicting the monotheistic interpretation of the Tangras religion uniting the peoples. So I want an agreement that is not directed directly against the Roman Empire of the East and carries on our part a rather defensive character. I instruct you to prepare the text of agreement in this sense. But in case of refusal I will not hesitate to declare war because I know well the weakness of the Roman empires. Orestes smiles. I will try to imagine something to facilitate the negotiations. Attila agrees. Okay, I already have some ideas on this. But I ask you to intensify the exercises of the troops for the assault of the fortresses. Plinther, Epigenes and their escort approach the main Khan of the Huns and his suite. Attila is haughty and motionless. He and his men do not descend from their horses, forcing the others to remain in the saddle. Negotiations are going on in the wind. Ambassador Plinther cannot say anything for fear of falling from a horse under the mocking glances of the Huns. Orestes notes with satisfaction the effectiveness of the diplomatic tricks discussed gaily with Attila. The Goth Epigenes, who was a pretty good rider, tries alone to withdraw the Romans from this ridiculous situation. Attila explains to ambassadors confused in good Latin, almost without accent, his claims. We demand the immediate cessation of all direct negotiations with the Huns princes and our vassals, the breaking of all contracts concluded without the authorization of the central government. We demand the dismissal of all the mercenaries who entered the service of the Romans without the agreement of the dead Khan Oros or myself. We also ask for the repatriation of all the Huns who seek political asylum in Constantinople. You must take solemn obligations that you will never help our external and internal enemies. Plinther asks to repeat the claims again. Attila frowns severely and formulates all demands, point by point, even more rough. Plinther asks the same question several times. And if our emperor will not give his consent? Attila answers quietly, that is because he prefers war. Besides these principal demands, Constantinople must, instead of a salary of 350 pounds of gold paid to the Khan Oros as an honorary general of the Eastern Roman Empire, pay a tribute to the Khan Attila of 700 pounds of gold per year. Each fugitive Roman prisoner was to be surrendered or redeemed for 8 pieces of gold. Attila gave the Roman diplomats only one night for their reflections. The following morning Orestes came to discuss with the Roman diplomats. Their red eyes testify that they have spent a sleepless night. Orestes unfolds a text of agreement written in Latin irreproachable, ready for signature. Plinther makes the haughty look and remarks, "I think the amount of tribute is too high. Our emperor can never accept such conditions." Orestes first tries to joke. On the contrary, these conditions are very modest. After the war with the Dacians, Trajan had a booty of more than 500,000 pounds of gold and more than 1 million pounds of silver. Attila has the right to ask to return this loot because now Dacia belongs to his state. Epigene listens attentively while Plinther persists, "Never can our emperor accept such conditions." Orestes becomes angry and takes up the scroll with the words, "Well, then it will be a war because your emperor wants it." Epigene snatches the scroll with a cry, "No, no. He will accept. We will sign this agreement." According to the strict laws of modern Khan, insubordination to the Khan or his offense were considered as insubordination to God and his offense. The solemn oath, pronounced in the name of God, is guaranteed by itself, from which flows its importance. All major crimes are punished by death. That is why some Huns, who had not obeyed the order to return to their country, were executed before the eyes of the Romans, who delivered them, in accordance with the signed agreement. This scene arouses in Orestes mixed feelings. It's terrible. Does he think? But the war between the Huns and the Romans is avoided. And I am happy to be one of the artisans of this peace.